SNAP is corruption by the Democrats. Mr. President Trump said no to fix for Americans only, not any illegals and with receipts. Go get a job.
So, guys, those are two of comments that I received on my YouTube shorts concerning SNAP. Thank you, Miss Heather Matthews 7422 for addressing one of the comments. But I thought, you know what? Now will be a good time to have a teaching moment. So let's get into it.
So, guys, we know the government is back open and SNAP recipients are receiving full benefits or are in the process of receiving them if there were delays. So, when I give information about benefits that impact my audience and someone just makes a comment out of ignorance or what I think is ignorance, then I have to address it. So, let's address the comment go get a job. This comment ignores the fact that many SNAP recipients are children, older adults, people with disabilities, caregivers, or part time workers. Guys, the aim of SNAP is to support nutrition, not to be a full substitute for employment income. So, telling someone who is receiving SNAP to get a job is not a one size fits all response, especially for families already dealing with health issues, disabilities, or caregiving responsibilities. So, let's deal with the next comment. SNAP is corruption by the Democrats. Guys, this person literally said Democrats, okay? SNAP is corruption by the Democrats plan. Mr. President Trump said no till fix for Americans only, not any illegals, and with receipts. Mr. Midwest DG, there is no credible evidence that SNAP is a corruption scheme by a political party. At least I haven't seen any, sir. If you've seen some, or ma'am, if you've seen some evidence that SNAP is a corruption scheme by a political party, please drop the link in the comments so I can educate myself. But I haven't seen any credible evidence that SNAP is a corruption scheme by a political party. It is literally administered by the United States Department of Agriculture under federal law. And SNAP eligibility rules apply to U.S. citizens and certain eligible non citizens. It is not an open program for undocumented immigrants. Household must meet work requirement incomes and asset tests, although rules do vary by states. Listen, this disruption, this shutdown, it was not moved by partisan corruption, but by a budget funding lapse. Now, guys, there were politics clearly involved, okay? But again, eligibility for SNAP is determined by federal law and state rules. It's not a partisan giveaway. And suggesting that it undermines the dignity of the millions of Americans who rely on it legitimately. What really gets me about comments like these is that America is supposed to be one nation under God. And it seems like people forget that the Bible tells us the poor will always be among us. Look it up. It's Deuteronomy 15:11. And in my opinion, that verse wasn't written to shame the poor. It's just a fact. There are poor people in the United States, and not to even feed them is it's just diabolical. We are really out here making ugly comments about feeding people in what's supposed to be one of the most richest countries in the world.
So, programs like SNAP exist because families, seniors, veterans, and people with disabilities, they still need help. It's not about laziness, it's about compassion, dignity, and making sure no one goes hungry.